Okay, this is a Minnesota offensive play in the first half against Iowa's defense. This is going to be a passing play, and it's going to end up being a coverage sack. So we're going to take a look at the route combinations and pass coverage, and then we'll look at the pass protection assignments after that. So Iowa is in a two very deep safety look. They basically ran two different types of coverage for the most part during the game. The first was a cover two full zone, which is what they're going to run here. And then later in the game, they ended up running a little bit more man press coverage as the game went on. So looking at the coverage assignments, this corner who's playing with a cushion is actually going to have a deep quarter of the field here. So he has any deep route that goes to this portion of the field, something like a corner route from this receiver, a go route from the outside receiver. Um, this safety has the left middle quarter of the field. So he has anything like a post route, seam route from this receiver, anything in the left middle quarter of the field. This safety has the right middle quarter of the field. So he has anything like a seam route from this tight end, anything coming over to this portion. And then this corner is going to end up dropping into the far right deep quarter of the field, so he has anything there. So underneath, what's going to happen is this receiver is in, this linebacker's in his zone. He's going to flatten out and take anything that comes into the to the far flat. This linebacker, which we'll talk a little bit more about, initially this is going to be play action, so he's going to try and cheat a little bit and play run, but then eventually he's going to come out and play zone in this portion of the field, and then this linebacker's left for this portion of the field. So that's what the coverage scheme looks like. Now, if we look at the real quickly to drop some of the route combinations, and then we'll look at the play as it progresses. So this receiver is going to run off, and we can't see on the screen if he ends up running a corner, a post route, something deep, but essentially he ends up running right down the hash, takes up one of the deep receivers, the deep defenders. This outside receiver is going to come in and run a slant or a curl route into this portion of the field. This receiver is going to run out into the flat here. So, and then this tight end is going to come over the middle here. So, ideally, you want your underneath receivers to find a pocket in the zone, and then look at how this trades off with this, with the deep route here, how that's traded off. That's what you're going to be looking at as a quarterback to see what's open. So, let's take a look at how it progresses. So, here's the fake handoff occurring here. You can see this linebacker is taking a look at the handoff. So if it is a handoff, he's going to play run. You'll see in the next frame, he ends up fanning out. This linebacker right away is reading this receiver coming out here. So he's coming out to defend this flat. This corner is taking a look at the quarterback, but he on the snap actually backpedaled a couple yards, so he's ready to cover his deep quarter. And then this safety is reading all three of these routes, trying to figure out what they're doing, as is this safety also. And then again, we're in a zone here and we're in a zone here. So look at the next play. You can see now this linebacker knows that it's not a run, so he's going to come out and try and defend, zone this part of the field. Again, this linebacker's coming out to take this flat route. The safety is covering this deep route here. What's going to happen is this wide receiver is he's looking for a pocket either on this side of the linebacker or on the other side of the linebacker. So if this linebacker had jumped out, he's going to try to find an inside pocket. Since he saw the linebacker coming in and playing a little bit of run, he's trying to set up here in this pocket, so that possibly the pass could hit him before the linebacker gets out. So take a look at the next. What happens is it ends up being well defended. This linebacker we saw earlier is right on top of the out route, so there's nothing there. You can see the quarterback initially looked from outside in, so he looked at this route first. He didn't like the pocket that we had with this receiver. Now this is essentially covered. You've got the tight end playing, essentially boxing out this linebacker. So if he wanted to throw underneath for just a 3 or 4 yard route, throw it low, it could be a catch there. But I think the quarterback is checking the deep route here, which ends up being covered because he doesn't throw it. And then if we look at the next play, you can see it ends up being a sack. So nothing open, ends up taking a coverage sack. Let's take a look at the closer look at the coverage. What we have here is slide protection. So again, we're going to have a play action fake over here, and all of these linemen are going to pass protect. This is a route that's going to come over here. All these linemen are going to pass protect one gap to their right. So they're essentially, it's a slide to the right. This is how they're looking. This lineman's going to sort of come head up, and in case there was a wide rush here, the play action fake from the running back will end up taking pass protection on him. So what ends up happening is, you can see right on the snap, everybody sets to the right. These two blockers are again blocking to their right. There's no one over the center. So what happens here is these two are engaged, obviously. Nothing outside, so the running back's just going to come and I think chip off of this person, but no one here. So if he's not covered, what he's going to do is look to help somewhere. So he's either going to help this guard with his block, or he's going to turn back and help this guard with his block. So what happens, and where they end up getting pressure, is you can see the center ends up turning back and helping here because he sees a little bit of inside leverage from this defensive tackle. And again, the running backs here, there's really nobody to chip. And this defensive tackle, who ended up coming upfield, now goes underneath. And because we're in slide protection, this he's a little bit overset on this, so he gives up the leverage here, which ends up the pressure, and the quarterback, the center's already reacted to help out here. So you can see this is the center helping out on the defensive tackle. He's giving a shot here. Running back's ready to chip with outside leverage. This defensive tackle's head up, and he's going to come inside. And he ends up getting, this is the defensive tackle, he ends up getting inside. Again, it's been a few seconds because nobody's open. He ends up getting inside, making the sack for tackle for loss. If we go back to the beginning, just to talk, give a little bit of theory here. So because it was so well covered, we want to go back and look at, what possibly adjustments you might make, what might have worked in this scenario. Well, the first thing is, with two deep safeties, you look to always be able to run against this type of defense. So you can see the Minnesota has 6 blockers. Iowa has 6 in the box. Now, the interesting thing is, this defender is close enough where he's able to play run or pass. So if you wanted to run into this formation, ideally what you'd want to do is get wider splits with these wide receivers and force this this linebacker to either set up inside and play the run, or set up with his splits farther out, so that if you did run something here, he's not going to get there till later and possibly be blocked by the wide receiver. So your first option here, with again a too high safety, too deep safety look, is you're going to want to run into this formation if you can. Now, again, if you set up with wider splits, and this linebacker is cheating inside and he's playing run, another option would be a bubble screen. So go back, wipe this out. So again, these guys get a little bit wider splits. If this linebacker stays inside and he wants to play run, another option here would be to block here and here, and then run this receiver on a bubble screen. Because you get 2 blocks here, this defender is not able to defend both the run but also the bubble screen and get out here. So that's an option. The other thing would be probably something in this area, a little bit deeper hole in the zone. So we can see on this play, he ended up running a receiver out this way, and this receiver came in and tried to find a shallower pocket in the zone, here or here. So an option might have been a curl or something to find a deeper hole in the zone here while still running someone shallow.